What if I told you that ancient giants once walked the earth? That the stories of the Nephilim in the Bible might not just be myths, but clues to a forgotten history? And what if, buried deep within our DNA, there were traces of something not quite human? Buckle up, because today, we're diving into the ancient mystery of the Nephilim and whether science is uncovering something shocking. Let's start with the basics. Who were the Nephilim? According to Genesis 6:4, the Nephilim were on the earth in those days and also afterward, when the sons of God came in to the daughters of men and they bore children to them. They were the heroes of old, men of renown. Sounds like something straight out of a fantasy novel, right? But many believe this passage describes fallen angels, also called the sons of God, who mated with human women and created hybrid offspring. And these weren't just any hybrids, they were giants, superhuman beings, and possibly the origin of the legends of mighty warriors like the Greek Titans and Norse giants. The term Nephilim comes from the Hebrew root word nephal, meaning to fall, which is why some believe these beings were the offspring of fallen angels. But here's where things get even weirder. The Book of Enoch, an ancient text not included in most biblical canons, expands on this, describing the Nephilim as monstrous, powerful beings that eventually became so wicked that God had to send the flood to wipe them out. But did they really all disappear? Throughout history, countless civilizations have spoken of giants. The Sumerians had their Anunnaki. The Greeks had the mighty Titans. The Norse told of the Jotnar. Even the Bible mentions the Nephilim, mighty beings said to be the offspring of fallen angels and human women. And then, there are the bones. Did you know that in the 1800s, reports of giant skeletons being found in North America were everywhere? We're talking remains measuring 8, 9, even 12 feet tall. These weren't just campfire stories. Many were reported in newspapers, written about in journals, and even sketched in detail. Some discoveries were made in ancient burial mounds, leading researchers to question if an entire race of towering beings once roamed the land. But here's where it gets strange. Many of these finds were documented, studied, and then mysteriously disappeared. Reports from the Smithsonian and other institutions mention these bones, but today, nowhere to be found. Conspiracy? Cover-up? A mistaken record-keeping? Who knows? And let's be real, if a 12-foot-tall humanoid was found today, it would break the internet. Scientists would rush to analyze the DNA. Theories would explode online. And yet, history seems to whisper that we've already found them before. So the real question is, why don't we hear about them anymore? Alright, so this is where things get really interesting. Could traces of the Nephilim still exist in our DNA today? Let's talk science. Some researchers have proposed that genetic anomalies, like gigantism, where individuals grow abnormally large due to excess growth hormone, might actually be remnants of Nephilim genetics. Think about it. Throughout history, there have been countless legends of towering warriors and beings of immense strength. From Goliath in the Bible to the mythical giants of folklore, could these stories have been based on real genetic traits passed down from ancient times? And then there's something even weirder. Some ancient giant skulls, at least the ones that have been documented before mysteriously disappearing, were said to have double rows of teeth. Now here's the kicker. There have been cases of modern humans being born with this exact condition. Coincidence? Maybe. Or could it be a dormant trait resurfacing from a long-lost genetic lineage? But wait, it gets even stranger. Modern geneticists have been studying the human genome for decades, mapping out our DNA and tracing our ancestry back to known hominid species like Neanderthals and Denisovans. But here's the twist. They've found sequences that don't match any known ancestor. These mysterious DNA markers appear in small percentages of the population, and no one knows where they come from. They don't align with Neanderthal or Homo sapiens DNA, so what are they? Could this be something else? Something ancient? Something Nephilim? And let's not forget about Rh-negative blood. This one is a real genetic mystery. Unlike Rh-positive blood, which shares similarities with primates, Rh-negative blood has no clear evolutionary origin. Some believe it's a random mutation. Others think it could be evidence of a hybrid bloodline, perhaps one that goes all the way back to the Nephilim. Here's what makes Rh-negative individuals unique. They sometimes exhibit higher than average intelligence, increased resistance to certain diseases, heightened intuition, and even lower body temperature. In rare cases, pregnant women with Rh-negative blood can reject Rh-positive fetuses, almost as if their body detects an incompatible genetic code. Why would this happen? Some theories suggest Rh-negative blood might not be entirely of human origin. Could it be a remnant of an ancient, divine, or even extraterrestrial lineage? And here's the big question. If traces of the Nephilim are still within us, what does that mean for humanity? Could these ancient beings have left more than just legends? Could their blood, their genes, and their essence still be flowing through certain lineages today? Science has only scratched the surface of our genetic past, and as more discoveries unfold, one thing is clear. Our history may be far more mysterious than we ever imagined. So what do you think? Could the Nephilim still be among us? In ways we never expected? But wait, what if the Nephilim aren't just a relic of the past? What if they're making a comeback, just not in the way we expect? In today's world, scientific advancements are pushing the boundaries of what it means to be human. CRISPR gene editing now allows us to alter DNA itself, potentially creating enhanced humans with superior strength, intelligence, and resilience, just like the mighty ones of old described in ancient texts. Meanwhile, artificial intelligence is integrating with human biology, leading some to believe that a new form of transhumanism, where technology merges with our very flesh, is on the horizon. Could this be the modern-day version of Nephilim 2.0? But here's where things get even stranger. Scientists aren't just modifying genes, they're also resurrecting ancient DNA. Some research teams are actively trying to bring back extinct species like the woolly mammoth, using preserved genetic material. If this is possible for animals, what about humans? Could certain ancient bloodlines, perhaps even those connected to the Nephilim, be revived in a laboratory? Could scientists unknowingly or deliberately be bringing back something that was never meant to return? Now let's take a step back and look at prophecy. In the Bible, Jesus warned that before the end times, the world would resemble the days of Noah. And what was happening back then? According to Genesis 6, the Nephilim, described as the offspring of fallen angels and human women, were roaming the earth, corrupting humanity and leading civilization into chaos. Their presence was so disruptive that it led to the Great Flood. So, here's the million-dollar question. Are we repeating history? Think about it. Our world is on the verge of unlocking genetic abilities that could create an entirely new kind of human. Governments and private corporations are investing billions into human augmentation, AI-driven intelligence, and even digital immortality. Could all of this be leading to a new era of hybrid beings, just as it was in the days of Noah? And here's something even more chilling. Some researchers believe that the Book of Enoch, an ancient text that expands on the Nephilim, hints at a return of these beings in the last days. It describes how fallen angels shared forbidden knowledge with humans, teaching them sorcery, advanced technology, and even ways to manipulate life itself. If such knowledge existed in the distant past, could it be resurfacing now through modern science? If the Nephilim were a corruption of human DNA in ancient times, and we're now willingly altering our own genetic code, could we be opening the door for their return? Not as giants, but as something even more advanced, something even more powerful. One thing is clear, our world is on the brink of something unprecedented. Will we unknowingly recreate the very beings that once walked the earth, or is this part of a much greater plan? So, what do you think? Are we heading toward a future where the mighty ones of old return in a different form? So, what do you think? Are the Nephilim real? Did they leave traces in our DNA? And could modern science be unknowingly awakening something that was meant to stay buried? For centuries, ancient texts, folklore, and even scattered scientific anomalies have pointed to the existence of something beyond our current understanding of human history. We've seen stories of giant skeletons mysteriously disappearing, genetic anomalies that defy explanation, and even cryptic references in religious texts warning of a time when the mighty ones of old may return. With CRISPR gene editing, artificial intelligence, and advanced biotechnologies, we are pushing the limits of what it means to be human. Are we unknowingly stepping into the same forbidden territory as those in the days of Noah? Could the merging of human DNA with technology or resurrected ancient genes be a modern attempt, whether intentional or not, to bring back something that was once wiped out for a reason? And then there's the spiritual side of things. If the Nephilim were real, and if their bloodlines truly still exist in some form today, what does that mean for the future of humanity? Could biblical prophecies about a return to the days of Noah be warning us about something that is already unfolding in our world? Now it's your turn. Let's get the debate going in the comments. Have you ever come across Nephilim-related discoveries, legends, or strange archaeological finds? Do you believe giants once walked the earth, or do you think it's all just a myth? And what about modern science? Do you think we're on the verge of unlocking something ancient and powerful, or is it all just a wild coincidence? Hit like if you enjoyed this deep dive into one of history's greatest mysteries, and don't forget to subscribe for more mind-blowing biblical and historical revelations. We've got plenty more mysteries to uncover, and trust me, you don't want to miss what's coming next. Until next time, stay curious and keep exploring the divine lens.